Hello folks, Sid Miramontes here with Miramontes Capital. In this week's program, I'd like to talk to you about the most common mistakes that we see investors make out there. Number one mistake that I see investors make is they believe that all financial advisors are the same. Well, they're not all the same. Is every restaurant that you attend and eat at the same, or is every doctor that you've ever had in your life the same? Is every store that you visit the same? Well, advisors are just like all these other professions. There are specialists in retirement planning. There are specialists in different dollar amounts. They may only manage $100,000 accounts and not $10 million accounts or $5 million accounts or $2 million accounts. There may be specialists that manage only stock portfolios. They may be specialists that only manage with annuities. It just depends on what your needs are, folks. And so you want to make sure that you find the person who is specialist in what your particular needs are. So that's number one. Number two that I find is, in the last several months, I've met with 70 plus people that have been with other advisors that came to see me from references, from referrals from family members or friends. And we find that they give a lot of the control of their portfolio away. Of course, you're hiring the advisor to be your steward and be your co-pilot, but not to run off and just leave your portfolio alone. And what I mean by that is many of these folks only review their portfolio with their advisor once a year. Some of them once every year and a half. And so one thing I will tell you is, if we want control, like any project you would have at work, if you're gonna go into $1 million project, this is your $1 million in your retirement account. If you had $1 million project at work, would you review it once a year? Or would they fire you? Or would you fire your employees if they reviewed your project, a multi-million-dollar project or $1 million project once a year? Well, no. Here at Miramontes Capital, we review portfolios with our clients every 30 to 45 days for the rest of their life. That way we know what's happening with your money, you know what's happening with your money, and that way you know your advisor's engaged. That's the only way I see that we can have the alignment that both need. Your advisor, if you're reviewing with someone else, you should have the same. They should be reviewing with you every 30 to 45 days. And then finally, the last one is, how do we invest the capital so it generates income that you actually need? That's another common mistake I see, that portfolios do not generate enough income, meaning that what is a dividend strategy that the advisor is using? Is it enough to cover the expenses that you're pulling out on a monthly basis? If you're pulling out $3,000 a month, that portfolio better be generating $3,000 a month in interest and dividends. If it's not, you're having to sell shares. And if you're having to sell shares every month, your shares are going to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink over the rest of your life. And hopefully they don't all run out by the time that you're not here any longer. And of course, that's not what we want to hear. We want to make sure that those investments generate the dividends that we need. So those are 3 mistakes that I see. And those are things you should be aware of so that you're empowered to make the best decisions for yourselves. So with those or any other questions, we look for your time. Thanks so much.